Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Power Rangers Beast Mophers episode 19, Target Tower. And this is where it all kicks off. So before we do this review, if you want to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as check that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop, then, you know, it helps the channel out and it will definitely grow. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Damn it, Philip DeFranco. We carry on from the last episode where the Rangers are looking at their surveillance cameras and they're seeing that they're actually just taking out the devices straight away without any sort of problems, and that's all down to the memories that the pulsator had to actually kind of change their memories to think that Blaze and Roxy were actually the Rangers and they were just giving them orders, etc, etc. As the Rangers are still kind of talking about it, an alarm goes off and they find out that Roxy's stasis chamber has been tampered and the alarm's going off. While they run straight over to it, they find out that it's been overloaded or overloading, and they find out that the USB pen was the one to kind of start it. Now I do still think that we're going to see that Blaze and Roxy do become evil later on, but that's just me kind of throwing it out there into the Rangerverse. Who knows? So they come to the conclusion that the only way to save Roxy is to actually destroy the evil avatar, and if that works then obviously she'll wake up. But they don't have much time because Nate can't do anything about it because it's starting to kind of fail on them straight away. Oh well, what's going to happen? They decide to go into the city to actually start looking for Roxy and Blaze. The commander walks in and says what's going on, and they kind of explain. The commander turns around and says, look, you know, you've got to find the mega transporters first. That's your main priority, because if anything happens and goes wrong, the city is the main thing that they're going to be looking after. Everyone kind of agrees, but they ask where Devon is with his dad, because obviously, you know, he's going for mayor, so obviously he needs to be there. So the commander tries to get in contact. Meanwhile, we jump into the city where the mayor is actually talking about being re-elected and what he's going to do. He says that he will save the city just like the Power Rangers, so re-elect him, and everyone's kind of happy. Ben and Betty are on their kind of tricycle, the two bike thing. If you know what it is, let me know down below in the comments. They're driving around with these kind of like binoculars you think is a really bad idea. It's like little mini opera ones that they can wear and stuff like that, and it's not good. So they go around the kind of city and they bump into a van, and they're quite angry because of reasons. They ran into it. It's their fault, not the parked van. As soon as they do, they open the van and they find that the 3 mega transporters are actually there, and they're really happy. They say that it's the family look, but then tons of tronics just come out of nowhere. They come out of the van like clown cars. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they teleport in straight away, but there's tons of them, and they say that this is the family curse. Dear God, guys, it's cool. So they decide to run away. The Rangers then are alerted that it's all there, and they go straight in for kind of a fight. Ben and Betty are trying to escape. They're on their bike, they're heading back, and they go straight to where everybody is for some strange reason. So they head there. The Tronics are attacking the whole place, and Ben and Betty don't know what to do. The mayor is like, everyone get out. When he looks at Devon to think that Devon is going to stay and help, Devon runs off, but we know that he's going to go morph and help everyone else. But Devon's dad is like, what the hell is going on? And he's really angry and disappointed that his son is doing this right now. So that's a story right there. So Devon has already morphed and he's joining the other Rangers. He takes down the Tronics with all the other Rangers that are actually keeping Ben and Betty kind of hostage. And then that one's not too bad. The Rangers are told by Ben and Betty that the mega transporters are down in a van near the actual city. So the Rangers decide to run off that way. And what happens? More and more Tronics just come piling out of nowhere to kind of stop the Rangers from doing stuff, to kind of like prevent them from doing it. In the cyber dimension, Blaze really wants the tower to be kind of transported. As Blaze is shouting, Scruzzle says, look, the Tronics have not done anything whatsoever, so you need to kind of sort this out. The Rangers are slowly closing in on the actual van. Blaze and Roxy are really kind of worried what's going to happen, so they turn around to Scruzzle and say, send down a Giga Drone. This therefore will distract the Rangers, and thus therefore Scruzzle sends it down there. The Rangers get to the van after defeating many Tronics, but then they're contacted by the commander saying that there is a Giga Drone happening. So Devon and Zoe, Nate and Steel all rush off straight back to the base so they can get their Zords. Ravi, which again you kind of saw, is taking the van back to Grid Battle Force with all the mega transporters, so therefore they'd be safe. aha, this is a good plan. This is one of my favorite fights in the entire series coming up. So the commander says, get back here ASAP. And he does. He starts driving. Meanwhile, back in the cyber dimension, Blaze and Roxy are like, what's going on? So Roxy comes up with a plan that she knows will work, and that therefore that they can get the mega transporters. Meanwhile, before, I'm going to go back a little bit. When the commander's talking to Ravi, he asks how Roxy is, and she says it's getting worse. She's not going to make it. So obviously that's a major plan. But skipping forward, as Blaze and Roxy in the cyber dimension are kind of going, what are we going to do? Roxy has the idea to actually lure the Blue Ranger away, or Ravi away, so that therefore, they can still get it. So as Ravi is driving, she suddenly runs out in front of the car and actually sees what's going on. So Ravi stops, he actually gets out and he chases her into the kind of open field, which I'm sure that was the Dino Thunder field for the high school. And Roxy morphs and they start fighting, and this is definitely by far one of my favorite fights in the entire whole series. We kind of get a little bit of switching and toing. So the Rangers are in their Zords, they're fighting the Gigadrone. Then we come back to Roxy and Ravi fighting, and it gets to the point. Now this is the point where I don't understand. When Ravi uses his gorilla strength, he overheats, and everyone at the command center knows about this, or battle grid, they know about it. But he picks up this rock, and Roxy just stands there like la 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 la, and Ravi throws the rock, it hits her, he rushes over, he grabs a morpher, rips it off, and crushes it. But he does it in that kind of like, Roxy, you're not going to use this anymore type voice, that you've seen. And when he crushes a morpher, she demorphs. The Rangers defeat the Gigadrone. That's alright, don't really care about that right now. But now we're back to Roxy and Ravi, and we've got a standoff. They both draw their weapons, and they start shooting. But Roxy's beam just literally hits Ravi, and it does nothing. And Ravi just lets out a barrage of blast. And I thought maybe one would do it. He's like, you've done it. But no, he fires once. He fires twice. He keeps going to the point where she becomes unstable and just blows up. And he's like, there we go, Avatar. And while he's just falls to the ground, he's like, it's fine. He sees Blaze just in the van going. And then they just drive off. And I was just like, oh, that's really cool. It's like, you destroyed my friend. I'm going to come back for you. What the hell? With this, Ravi then knows that he's done something wrong, and he's like going, oh crap, what am I going to do? Back in the cyber dimension, Evox is really angry for one of his generals to be destroyed like that. Blaze says, look, she was destroyed, but you still have me. That's what matters the most. He and Scrozzle have found out the locations that they need to actually put the mega transporters, so the tower full of MorphX will be his very, very soon. Back at the base, Ravi busts in. He goes straight to Roxy to see if she's woken up, but she hasn't. They wonder if it's been too long, but since they've destroyed the Avatar, what's going on? At this point, the commander walks in, calls Ravi out and says, get out here now, and then says like, what you've done could have put the entire whole place in danger. It still is. And Ravi says, look, I'll take full responsibility for this. I will turn around and go, yes, it's all my fault. Commander actually understands this because he adds that, this was the only time that he could have saved her. There may not have been another point, so he had to take it. She understands this and goes, that's fine. Ben and Betty contact Grid Battle Force and say that they have seen one of the mega transporters. It's been well hidden in a bush. We then jump to the actual location, and all the Rangers are looking about, and they're kind of talking about it, saying, yep, it's points at the tower. But you kind of think that they would take it away really quickly or teleport the thing out, but they don't. At this point, Devon's dad walks over, calls Devon over and says, look, you ran away. This should not have happened. I didn't raise a kid like this. What you've done was just not right in the family name. Devon really wants to say that he is a Power Ranger, but one thing that I did like about this is when Devon's dad starts talking about, you come home late at night with bruises, like you've been in a lot of fights. And not many people have ever said that. I think this is the first time it's ever been said. And I kind of liked it because it showed that, he was going home battered and bruised. And I imagine him trying to patch himself up, with all this sort of damage. And I kind of like that thought because, again, we've never seen it or it's never been hinted at in the Power Ranger universe. At this point, Blaze and the Lodotronics just walk up. They start attacking everyone. And Devon's dad says, just get home, Devon. And everyone kind of rushes off. Ben and Betty have picked up the transporter or mega transporter and put it in a shopping cart. and they're trying to get away from all the Tronics. This is when Devon's dad just grabs like a shovel and just goes to town and actually buys them some time so that Ben and Betty can escape. We get a bit of hijinks and stuff like that, and a bit of Mario Kart action where Betty's just throwing stuff outside the car, you know, using like French breadsticks to smack, or baguettes is it? Basically to smack Tronics away. I was like, damn, that bread is really hard. And in the end, a fight just breaks out with all the Rangers. Everyone is ready to fight. They make the reference that they've come to the boss level. I think they're coming to the end of the series. That's my kind of thought on it. And they all morph. We get this really cool morph sequence and a ton of fighting. As the fighting happens for a while, Blaze kind of like steps out. Blaze teleports around the different locations to activate the mega transporters. And I've got to admit, it's kind of cool. The only thing is, for the third one, Ben and Betty have just put it in the car and they're about to drive off, and he just goes, haha, pulls it out because they didn't lock or pull down the window. So you kind of think, really? So he teleports with it to the right location and he's about to put it in. He positions it and he puts in the code really slowly for some strange reason. Devon notices this and rushes over and they have a fight. It's quite a decent fight as well, because obviously Blaze has got his main objective. He's not going to kind of let it go, so he just kind of like fights a little bit. Devon pulls in the cheetah claws, but then it doesn't kind of work because he's tied up by Blaze. So you think, oh, what's going to happen? He actually hits him with a massive energy blast, which makes Devon demorph. We then see the mayor kind of rush over and go, oh my god, and he sees that Devon is the Power Ranger, and it's like, Devon's a Power Ranger? With this, Blaze actually activates the tower. Because Devon is kneeling there, he can't move from the kind of like the restraint. Devon's dad starts running towards him, but everyone's like, no! As it starts happening, the final Mega Transporter is activated and it teleports the tower to the cyber dimension. Everyone is like, no! As Devon's dad goes like, Devon! He sees him and you see the kind of look in Devon's face of going like, no! And I generally kind of thought it was pretty cool because it was a very kind of traumatic moment and it was one of those like, no, what's going to happen? And then Blaze and Devon are teleported out with the tower. The Rangers are back at Grid Battle Force and they're talking about what's going on. They talk about that they've got the cyber gate and they're going to try and activate that and get it online to work so they can go straight in to actually get Devon and kind of stop what's going on. As everyone is worried that this is going on, Roxy wakes up. The alarm goes off, she wakes up, and they're like, oh my god, you're awake, you're fine. And she brings out an important message to say that because Roxy was connected to the evil Roxy, the avatar, she was able to know exactly what the plan was going so she could see everything. And she says that they're making Evox a body, and if he gets the body, he comes to this world, boom, everything is over. And then they kind of repeat it, so he goes like, yes, if he comes to this world, he will take over the morphing grid and destroy us all. And then it cuts. And that's the end of the episode. And I've got to admit, this was a fantastic episode. It had a lot of action, it had a lot of suspense, and it actually had the bad guys' plans working rather than being defeated straight away. I have got to admit, the best part of this episode was Ravi versus Roxy. Just the whole fight scene, the whole thing where Ravi just ends her. It's not just the whole one shot, the whole rapid shot to destroy her. I did not expect it whatsoever, and I was very, very like, what the hell? What's going on here? The only thing I could say that if I didn't like it was the fact that when Ravi picked up a rock, it took way too long. I generally thought that he would have grabbed it and just chucked it rather than actually pick it up, because Roxy could have just ran away, teleported out, run around him, actually kind of run past the rock. That's what I kind of thought, but I loved it. I thought this episode was fantastic. If this is how Beast Mophers is going to be, I cannot wait for season 2 with the kind of the build up to the last fight. Oh my god, it's absolutely going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to see what's going on. So Ranger Nation, my question to you is, what do you think about this? Do you like what you've seen? What was your favorite moment in the episode? And what do you think about this episode? Was it as like kind of hyped up and built as what it would be? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you've liked this video, then like, favorite, comment, and hit that subscribe button. Check that cheeky notification bell. And as always, Ranger Nation, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.